Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
Look at this. 2 weeks in a row with a special co-host. Hey, Mark. We welcome Mark from MacEffects. Should give you clues what we might be talking about later. But let's open the show officially. So, you ready to go, John?
All set.
All right. Let's see. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John and Mark. This is episode 605 for February 27th, 2022. Good morning, John and Mark.
Good morning, James.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, so Mark is here. That means it's time to talk about new MacEffects products or product. We're going to talk about the latest Kickstarter campaign later on in the show. That is the Apple IIc replacement keyboard and all its variations. So we'll get into the details of that. I see John is representing.
That's right.
His,
I've got my Apple IIe case behind me, the MacEffects clear case. I do not have the keyboard installed yet. All right, so first of all, I have to say my wife, who is not a computer person, thought this keyboard is gorgeous, and I have to agree. This is just the clear 2E keyboard is crazy, amazing, cool, well worth the wait. I know you had a ton of production pipeline issues with this, but worth it, so worth it.
Even not put in the computer, it's still worth it. Just sitting
just
like this.
Looking at it, it really is. I'm not kidding. It
stands alone.
It is great,
glorious. Yeah, I'm not as far along as John. My clear case is still in the box.
Oh,
well, that's how collectors do it, right?
Yeah, right. It's worth way more money that way. Well, so we're going to talk about that later. We got a nice, good crowd in the YouTube chat. Of course, we do this live almost every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Central, so join us if you can. And if you do, you often get bonus stuff, right? Because we do the regular show, and then in between segments, we talk about other stuff, entertain questions, get off topic, waste time. Lots of good stuff. What is John is mouthing to the audience? We can do that in secret. I don't know what he's doing.
Trina in the comments asked if I was wearing an Atari shirt, so I was just trying to say that yes, yeah. I am wearing. Yeah,
and I'm wearing my Designed by Apple in California t-shirt.
I feel left out, unfortunately. my Apple gear.
All right. Well, let's take a short break. We'll be back with some eBay finds. All right.
Yep. Called out by Trina.
Let's switch over here. Let's share the right screen and see what's going on in eBay. All right. Here we go. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Time now for eBay finds. Last week there was that, what would you call that? Teal. It's a polo shirt with HyperCard training on it, and as John instructed us or told us, he is it a potato? Is that the mascot of HyperCard?
Well, there was a HyperCard game called I forget what it was called, but it was like a virtual Mr. Potato Head. It had the potato, and then you could drag mustache, eyes, hats onto it. So
was that just a potato head stack then?
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was some official.
No,
There wasn't some official
so.
potato reference to HyperCard?
No.
Oh.
I do not believe
okay.
so.
Okay. All right. I misunderstood. Well, anyway, this is still available for a buy it now of $49.99, or you can make an offer. And then last week we had Mouse Master Instant Mouse Port Control. This was a breakout box for the mouse port on your original, 128, 512, and I guess we'll work on the Plus as well. This one is still available. Buy it now, $99, or you could make an offer on that. How about a clear version of this, Mark? I know these are in high demand.
Niche market, right?
I can't say I've ever seen that one before.
And let's see. Oh, well, let me show you what's inside the box there. There you can see there. So go ahead and take a mental snapshot of that. You can clear case that for us later. Okay, and we had the 1984 sales training package, which had that booklet plus the binder, all kinds of wonderful, wonderful history in here. This is pretty awesome. Too bad they want to buy it now of $3,000 or make an offer. Still available. Okay, moving on. Last week we talked about, I guess it was in the news. We were talking about that auction, the new in the box,
sealed. Yeah,
sealed, new in the box, owned by an Apple employee that bought it direct from the company, from their company. Never opened, and that was up for sale at our auction. Here's another 20th anniversary Macintosh, but this one is not sealed, although they say in the title, it says 1997 TAM Apple 20th Anniversary Macintosh original box appears never used. Appears, okay. Let's see, the description gives a little background of the history of it, but it says, please view photos carefully and contact me with questions about condition. Looks to be never used, but the box is open, bought from an auction about 4 years ago. And let's see, it has the computer keyboard, the Bose unit, all original materials and accessories, all in excellent conditions. So let's look at these pictures. You got it says never open. I would imagine this would have been wrapped in plastic, right? And boxed.
Yeah, but also the fact that there's writing on the Mac OS 8 disk, like handwriting, leads me to believe that, this was used.
Yeah, this was used. Well, I don't even think this would have been boxed like that. You see that picture with the monitor like sticking up,
right? Yeah,
with and no, not protected, yeah.
I was trying to get that first picture. It looks like there's a stain on the. On the.
Is that a shadow or? Yeah, on either side. Okay.
New in the box.
Newish, but still complete with all the packaging and well, hey, at least you can say maybe the Experience CD has not been used. In its original plastic there. You got the stickers and brochures and at least the keyboard is maybe rewrapped in plastic.
Been rewrapped, yeah.
Oh, I see what you say. Yeah, the OS 8 CD-ROM has been handwritten on, and then those unit, and of course, a lot of these get the fraying of the cable. It'd be nice to see a close-up of that, right? Box looks like it's in pretty good shape considering the age. Not bad. So what do they want for this thing? Well, they're starting the bid at $3,500. You'd have to buy off, I think, on the never used claim, which I don't think I can. Or you can buy it now for $5,500. I'll maybe in the break I'll look and see how that or somebody else can look it up. The RR auction for the truly never used one.
Oh, right.
See how that one's
See
doing.
How that's going.
I wonder if that will even get up to $3,500. To be honest.
Right.
Okay. All right. What's next?
All right. Next up, we have a vintage 1988 Apple Macintosh SE30 junk with rare box.
I love honesty.
All right. I mean, so yeah, down in the description it says it's a basically it turns on, only the fan comes on, screen strobes, selling for parts, box torn and stained. Now I say all this, and so the case on the SE30 itself looks in pretty good shape. It doesn't look like it has any extra card installed in it or anything like that. All right, so that description as is, this still has 6 bids already, $265. Still has a little over a day to go. About $100 to ship to us from New Hampshire. So even with that description, the SE30 is getting some action.
Yeah, and look at the pictures here. It looks a little dusty, but I mean, it looks not really yellow.
Yeah, the case looks no
dents or scarring of any kind.
Now, but it also basically looks like it's just the computer. Nowhere in any of these pictures do I see a keyboard and a mouse. Not that it's hard to come across an ADB keyboard and a mouse, but still.
Right.
It would be my guess that people bidding on this are like, well, at least the screen somewhat comes on. Maybe the board can be recapped. That's the only thing I can think of at this point.
Mm-hmm. And people like I'm sorry, Mark?
Oh, it doesn't look like it's been battery bound based on the ports below. So that's anymore. That's a pretty big deal. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's beat up and stained and torn, as I said. The box is. It's still the box, and that's something nice to have there to make it complete. So, not bad, and a lot of action on this already. So
right.
Yeah, we'll see how high this gets by next week. And yeah, this one ends in just a little over a day. Okay, and then there's this. The title says "Very Rare Vintage Macintosh Apple Computer Credit Salesman Information Box." Read. Very rare indeed. I never seen this package before. The first photo here shows was that the box? This is Apple Credit. There's a cassette tape with headphones and a GE portable cassette player with some other little notes there. And I don't know. Did Apple put this together and slap a Apple logo?
No, I'm going to say no on that. I actually have some of these like bubble vinyl Apple stickers, so I think somebody just put that on there.
You don't think that came as part of the set?
I don't know.
Yeah, they have included a cassette player in this package? I don't know. I kind of doubt it. Well, what is the? Let's see if we can learn anything from the description. It says the cassette player works perfectly. It includes the GE cassette player, everything you wanted to know about Apple Credit Cassette, pocket monthly payment estimators, telephone tags with the toll-free Apple Credit numbers. Let's see, the headphones work, but the earpads have deteriorated. It's missing the Apple credit card sample and the salesperson guide. And the inside of the box has some tears. All right, well, let's look at the pictures here. You've got the cassette player and what looks like somebody may have just slapped the Apple logo on there. And then here, the back of the box shows the contents, what the box contains. Okay, the sample of the credit card, which they said they don't have, the Apple credit card window stickers, a cassette player.
Cassette player, okay.
There it is. So they included a cassette player to play the cassette. I love it. It says a cassette player to play everything you always want to know about Apple Credit. A great cassette. You're unabashed. And then it goes on here. It says the salesperson guide to Apple Credit, pocket monthly payment estimators, telephone tags with the toll-free Apple Credit numbers. And at the bottom it says, don't just sit there reading, open the box. Okay, well. Oh, and at the top it says the box contains everything you need to make a lot of money selling a lot of Apple computers with Apple credit, except the computers and the store. So yeah, it's
right.
And there's the cassette, a logo, and then you got the little payment estimator and little stickers on the credit plan, headphones, and yeah, kind of cool. I'd love to hear what's on that cassette, wouldn't you? It'd be funny. I mean, if it's if it's kind of entertaining as the text on the box, it might be some fun listening. What do they want for all this? They have a buy now. Oh, ouch. Ooh, I think I'm going to need some Apple credit in order to buy this, because they want $999.99 where you can make an offer.
So do you see the location this is coming from?
I didn't notice it.
Niceville.
Oh, here.
Here.
In our backyard.
Right here.
In my backyard. That's where I live. What are the odds? Is this the same seller that there was that other one that, remember, there was another one that we stumbled across?
I don't know. So the person selling this, mostly what they've got are like clothes and shoes and just like regular household stuff. So where this came from, I really don't know. They also have the Macintosh demo series, demo library, MacWrite, MacPaint, for $500 on their auction site. It looks like a big box set.
Huh.
So they've got somebody at some point must have just sold them some old Apple stuff, and this is a few things amongst there.
Yes, Mac84 suggested I walk over to them and knock some sense into them. I could do that metaphorically by shooting him a low offer and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, this is a small town. I mean, the odds of me just picking something
randomly,
and
right,
it up there, and
yeah,
or I could be a very devious,
secretly selling stuff on the side.
Yeah, right, this is my own auction. John caught me.
Look at this amazing thing, guys. We've never seen this before. Right. Never seen this. Is a buy now, guys. Just go out and just buy it.
I'm using reverse psychology. All right. Is that it? Did we talk about 3? I think we did.
That was it. Yes.
We'll see if this sells next week. Okay. Look at that. Well, that was wild. There was something just not too long ago.
I'm trying to think. We actually covered the MacWrite, MacPaint box set. Is maybe what it is.
No, it was something else. It was a recent eBay find.
All right.
That it was in the area. Oh no.
Well, I mean, sometimes it happens. I'm sure most of us, do an eBay, search by distance from house. That's how I got my Ruby iMac. It was a place down in Blue Water, a thrift store selling the Ruby iMac that I got for like $30. So. It happens.
All right, let's switch it up here and talk about something new. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Well, we here at the RetroMacCast are big fans of everything MacEffects that Marcus brought us. We were, of course, showing off some of the stuff we have. The latest is the backlit mechanical keyboard for Apple IIc computers. The Kickstarter is now live. It looks like you met your goal. Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you. One more stretch goal to go, which is the one I'm really rooting for obvious reasons, because then we'll hopefully have a 2C case in black, clear, and also the original color as well.
And so what do we have to hit in order to unlock that?
That one's, I think, I believe it's 24,000. So we're
close.
We're on track, I think.
You're at 19,849 with 73 backers. 17 days to go. the strategy is, it's a little different this time because last time you led with the case, the 2E case, and then got the keyboard followed. So what prompted why did you have to switch it up this time and kind of go with the keyboard first?
So realistically, based on how fewer 2Cs there are as compared to the Apple IIe, this was more or less a test to see what kind of interest was really out there before digging too deep. And I mean, by the time something gets to a Kickstarter, I would have had to have already had a significant pile of money sent to China for various different tasks and prototyping and efforts and stuff. And to be honest, I was even doubtful that there'd been sufficient interest for the 2C and for the keyboard. And I was wrong.
I have to say, if you've ever used the Apple IIc keyboard, it's a terrible keyboard unless you get the right model 2C. They're just kind of mushy. They're not good. So I could see definitely people wanting a new 2C keyboard. So this was a great way to go about this one.
Do you happen to know the production numbers of the 2C versus the 2E? There is a shorter run. But I wonder what those are.
I think it's half, somewhere around half. But that's also including the Platinum 2E, the first revision 2E. I mean, the 2E was out there for just forever, and the 2C Plus came out, and it kind of replaced the 2C. So I mean, it wasn't in the market for very long. But I think a lot of people really like it because if you live in an apartment or something and you don't necessarily have a lot of room, you can just plug one of these right into your TV, right, and you can have, it's kind of the most portable Apple II. Let's call it that.
Sure. So now with the 2C keyboard, you do have a variety of options. So why don't you walk us through what those are?
So we have a base keyboard, which I believe is more or less I believe it's the one that's basically like the stock keyboard. We have a backlit version and a non-backlit version. Have gray being the base, and then we'll also have clear and black. People really loved what the black Apple IIe kit that we did, so kind of thinking maybe this one might be more fun to broaden it instead of just 25 units. It's kind of a little side note and hasn't told anybody yet. There's a lot of secret development we've been working on to add a lot of different features to this that really isn't talked about here. Is kind of going to be a surprise. So this project, Joe from Joe's Computer Museum has been working a lot on the PCB. I'm not necessarily an electronics guy. As a matter of fact, I'm an accountant by day, so hardly somebody you want to design a PCB and the logic. And then Javier Rivera of Apple IIc notoriety. He's been very helpful in trying to iron things out. But we've also added in Plowman from Apple II Heaven, and he's doing some really fun things with this keyboard project. So I kind of hate to say it, it almost seems like we're going a little over the top on what into features this is going to have. So it's not just going to be a very boring keyboard, to be sure. So
well, that's a great team you've got there, I have to say. That's some awesome people.
Oh, definitely. And I think I mentioned before, I think it was a couple times ago when I was on here, I'm nothing more than really a facilitator, right? There's people, I just want these things to come so I can play with them and I can have them, right? So somebody's got to build them, right? So it's just kind of a team effort, right? And then the folks in China have been, I know they're doing their best they can given the circumstances. So
here's an idea how to move more of these, so you don't necessarily have to have a 2C. External case, USB interface. I'm just looking at this thing. I was like, this would be great to use my 2E clear keyboard as an external keyboard for my day-to-day computer.
Well, that kind of leads as an interesting segue. So there is an external Apple keyboard that is pretty early in our development process, but kind of using some of the features we're kind of testing on the 2C. I don't want to reveal which one it is, but it's one of my personal favorites, and it too will use the Alps design. So I think you folks can use your imagination as to which ones those might be. But I'd really like to see, a USB version, and one that can do USB or ADB, and that's kind of the goal here for those of us that see. I'm a mechanical keyboard guy too, so that's one of my things I don't use. I have a beautiful, nice iMac, and then I have a mismatched keyboard that kind of ruins the aesthetic. Steve Jobs would hate me because I also like my numeric keypad, so which is understand. Well, I'm an accountant, so hopefully.
Yeah, you are right.
There.
Right, you probably type with one hand and numeric keypad with the other. Let's see. So, what's the timeline we're looking at? I know there's 17 days to go on the project, and then what happens after that?
So, because the goal was already met, kind of started the ball rolling on getting the keyboard going, and I did upgrade, and I think I mentioned in there that it was most of them were going to be ABS plastic, but I think it's the. I remember. I think it's going to be the gray, and the black ones are actually going to be PBT, which is going to be more wear resistant. Nice little upgrade. But we've got that process going, and as far as timelines, I try to be that every time I do something, some world event has to happen. And it's almost like I don't want to do any more Kickstarters because now there's World War III is coming, and I'm just trying.
And it's all your fault, Mark.
I'm starting to think so. Every Kickstarter coincides with some world event, right? A COVID, a trade war, and so forth. So let's put it this way, I try to be rather conservative because a significant amount of the work has already been done. And barring any crazy things happening, we're going to see that in the relative near future, I think.
Okay. Hey, one more question on the backlit. We were trying to figure this out the other week. So you've got the backlit, but I assume the new keycaps you're making will actually have it so the letters light up as well, or is it just going to be the kind of ground effects effect?
Well, we're playing around with that right now. Okay. That is one of the things, and that's more complex because there's different ways to do it. And so you can add a kind of say like a layer over the cap and then laser it out so that you can, like, say, make the cap, the cap a whitish transparent color, and then etch it out. That hasn't really been going very well because we've been having trouble getting that layer not to kind of fall off.
Got it. Okay.
I don't want to say for sure which way things are going to fall with that, but in any case, the clear, of course, will be nice and easy. But there are some other things. I don't want to give away too many details, but things related to the backlight, there are going to be some surprises, I think, that people will really enjoy.
Somebody, Scarlett Swordfish, in the asked a question about, will you be selling those keycaps separately? I don't know if they mean for like a new set of keycaps to put on their existing 2C, and I don't even know if the posts would be the same type of posts. But can you answer that? Is that would they be interchangeable?
So the only catch about that is that the process that we have for these keyboards for adding the text typically requires that the keyboard is already assembled, and then whether it be laser carving or or printing or dye sublimation, usually the keyboard has to be assembled. So I can get the caps no problem. And there are a lot of people that I've been surprised by that actually build mechanical keyboards from. And actually, if you looked on eBay, this is one of the reasons why it's been a big push for me to want to do this one, is that people keep buying these keyboards, the good ones from the Apple IIc, and stripping out the key switches and sometimes the keycaps. So it's very common to see a keyboardless Apple IIc. So unfortunately, that's all too common. But those can be available, I suppose. But text is going to be maybe add text yourself, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you are getting them blank, and then you guys are doing a process to put the text on. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So, okay. I mean, once the keyboard comes out and then it gets assembled, and then once it's assembled, then it goes to the next, process. And the thing about this keyboard, and part of the reason that held things up last time so much in the IIe keyboard, was that unlike just a plastic case, there are a lot of different vendors involved with a keyboard, because you're dealing with the metal frame, you're dealing with the people who are adding the text, you're dealing with the injection company, you're dealing with somebody to assemble the keyboard, the people to make the box, and then a lot more moving processes than standard.
Got it.
Case. Nice.
All right.
Well, you've got 17 days to get in on the Kickstarter. I'm guessing if you do miss out, that eventually these will show up at your store at MacEffects.com. I should put that out there, right? I mean, you do have some of the previous Kickstarters are available out there on your website, but you probably have to wait a while, right? Because I mean, obviously the backers are going to reap the rewards of the first run.
That's right, and so I underestimated the demand after the Kickstarter for the IIe, so and I think that maybe there's less than 20 that are going to be available for the Apple IIe keyboard, and some of them, the gray keyboard I think is all gone, and the black one of course goes with the case. So slim pickings now, and so you never really know what kind of demand I suppose you're going to get. So that hasn't been added yet, but I'm making sure that everybody gets theirs, they test them, and that they work, and trying to give everybody enough time. The only complaints I've heard is that one keyboard didn't have one keycap didn't have text added for whatever reason, and then one of the key switches was kind of sticking on another one. So those are the only problems thus far, but give a little more time on that, I think. So
maybe want to examine mine here. Everything looks good. Here's a question that I'm looking at your website. The feet for the first item there listed for the Quadra and Centris, those aren't remanufactured. Where are you getting those?
Oh no, I injection molded those.
Oh wow!
The 6100, well, more specifically, the Performa 6115 CD was my very first Mac, and so it holds a very special place. And that it was like Best Buy. It was a floor model. The feet were already 2 feet were already broken off on the thing when I got it. So I'm like, well, this needs to be built. There are probably so many little things that Macs have. I mean, one of the most recent, I did the engineering work for the inner bezel for an iMac G3, and because for anybody who loves the G3 iMac like me, that the inside part rots and just crumbles, and you can't ship them, and they fall apart. And unfortunately, I think still waiting to see what we can do, because I think the quote for the mold on that was like $27,000. So unfortunately, most people's view of the iMac G3 was, well, I can get one for say $7,500. Why would I pay whatever dollars more than that for a bezel? So, but interestingly enough, there's in that same vein, I in probably a couple months, not a Kickstarter or anything, I'll have an accelerator for the LC1, LC2, and Color Classic, because kind of a preservationist in me, everybody keeps taking the Performer 550 and 575 boards and stuffing them into the, which, I mean, hey, I have one too, so, but mine was from a case where it was ungodly. I mean, I couldn't pick it up without crumbling. So unfortunately, we're losing a lot of Macs to that process of stripping them out, even if they're in good condition. And so unfortunately, it's probably more in line with the 550 than it is the getting an 040 above and beyond anything that I am capable of doing, is particularly with the limitations of the Color Classic. But so that's something on the time horizon, and then a few other things. And I will give a little hint that there is some more Mac action, let's put it that way. I haven't just been focusing on Apple II. That's what's coming up next in the pipeline, is all Mac stuff. So after the 2C.
Nice. All right.
Wow. How exciting. Well, we'll definitely have you back when you've got something else to unveil and talk about. So we'll remind everybody, going over to Kickstarter, just search on MacEffects and you'll find the keyboard. Get in there, 17 days to go. Go on to MacEffects.com for all the other items available. And thanks again, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. We learned all kinds of stuff we didn't know we would learn about. Yeah, I have those broken feet like all over the place. When I think I probably broke a couple of dozen of them just when John and I moved all my computers over to this house.
Yeah, it's so sad.
So
it is.
I'll probably have to send you a check for about $500 to retrofit all of them. All right. Let's see. We're going to move on to the news. All right. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. It's time for the news over at macrumors.com. There's a quick article by Tim Hardwick where they delve into a recent patent that was registered called computer. I guess it's an application, computer and an input device. And this references this idea of packing the computer all into the keyboard, which, as Macrumors correctly suggests, this doesn't seem like a new idea, right? This is the way a lot of our computers were. Hell, you could even say the
Commodore
Apple II
64
was just a big keyboard. But yeah, the Commodore 64 is a perfect example of where it kind of just looks like a keyboard, right? I mean, it has a little extra mass to it to accommodate the computer bits. But with the shrinkage that's been going on with the innards of Macintosh computers, especially with the rise of Apple Silicon and the M1 and hopefully soon the M2, I mean, it's gotten very compact, right? So
yeah. I mean, even if you look at if you've ever seen the Logic board in a MacBook Air, there would be space to spare inside this thing. Throwing one of those in there, so
it's mostly battery. And if you don't if it's not a true portable, and you don't need the space for the battery, then wow, you can make that even smaller. So if Apple is actually pursuing this idea, that'd be pretty cool. Just a keyboard there, you just plug in. I think it talks about even having a single connector that would handle the power and the monitor. So that's always interesting stuff to see what Apple might be working on. And then, we already saw that. Oh, here we go. Yanko Design. And we saw something from Yanko Design before, this sort of reimagining of new products that harken back to the original products. This one is Retro Macintosh Concept is the perfect fusion of nostalgia and modern Apple design. And look at this. Of course, that's very reminiscent. You're looking at the front, which looks like a classic Macintosh,
Mm-hmm.
but with, of course, a very slick edge-to-edge display. And there's a picture of what inspired them. You go down below, say Macintosh Nostalgia Reborn. The Macintosh is here. We decided to go back to our roots and design something that brings you back, way back, transformed by the M2 chip. See, we were just talking about, like the options now that you can go with. Stands out in any space, fits perfectly in your life. Now, from the front, it doesn't really show what's really capable. And then when you start looking at the side, which we'll get down here, let's go down. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
There you so that it's not as obviously not as deep as the original Mac case, but just a few inches thick. With a whole host of ports on the front. Wouldn't that be cool if they had like a low cost option that doesn't have all the fancy metals and glasses and whatever of the casing, just has simple plastic casing?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that if they could sell something like this for under 500 with a display all in one, that would be awesome. They would never do it, but one can dream, right? What do you guys think about this? Would you buy that? It's got a notch.
I don't know if yes. I don't know about an HDMI port on the front of a computer, but hey,
yeah, that would look kind of odd. Well, we'll put the ports on the back, except for maybe the SD
exactly
card.
right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a few tweaks and we'll buy it. All right. And we'll Steve Mac84 says he'd buy one if it came in key lime. That's a different era. We'd have to make more of a bulbous looking slice of something to with that. Dana, NanoRaptor at twitter.com is at it again. Wanted to show this is the 8-inch PowerBook with the optical dock that she created. This is really slick. Look at how tiny the computer is. Just it's the size of a very compact, like a 12-inch PowerBook keyboard. But you set it on top of that dock, which gives you the optical drive and hopefully other ports. I wonder if that charges wirelessly too. Hopefully that gets added in there.
Buy this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It would be an update to the Duo dock, that whole laptop docket.
Right.
Everything immediately. Sure.
Would you buy this? It says Apple's foray into portable desktop publishing reached a zenith with the PowerBook 190p running a 33 megahertz,
yes.
68040, and upgradable to 100 megahertz PowerPC. It also supported a 640 by 870 active matrix grayscale portrait display. Look at that. And
love
what that buys you, of course, is a huge area for some speakers, and then a really deep wrist rest. Right? They could have probably put 2 trackpads in there. That is sweet. But my favorite is this one, the Macintosh Performa 575 Ultra Wide. Look at that. That is glorious. Of course, it's got a ultra wide screen for displaying, your Hollywood movies or whatever that require that width, or
I guess a 3:1 aspect ratio or something like that.
It's nice and short and squat too. Doesn't take up much vertical space on your desk. But it looks like the screen, the height is about as high as the bezels on the monitor itself. So you're not going to get probably only best for viewing some really wide movies or something, because you're not going to get a whole lot of lines of your word processing document on that one. But pretty slick. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for the news. I think we're just kind of waiting for an announcement of new Apple products. There's all kinds of hope that we're going to see new M2 powered stuff. So Mark's got his fingers crossed. Are you in the market?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping for. I've been waiting for this new iMac forever, and unfortunately, I do this. I guess I'm cheap. I spend all my money on obviously hobby projects. So I have a 2012, late 2012 iMac when it first did the redesign, and I've been kind of holding out for the new M series, and I hope they're not disappointing this year because I'm ready. I got my pack of cash saved up, and I said it's time. I love colors. 32 is my goal, but I'll accept a 27 if they'll put it out.
Yeah. So the last round, just the monitor is just a little too small. Yeah. I got it. Of
course, I'm still waiting to see whatever the new desktop system is supposed to be. That was, I think, Cook talked about that coming out last year. You still haven't, or have they just decided no, they're not going to do any more big desktop systems?
Oh, you're talking about the Pro?
The Pro, yeah.
Yeah, no, that has been promised.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember where we are on the timeline of they announced, they said 2 years, I think, was the target to get all systems transferred over to the M processors. So
that was just the fall, right? This year?
Must be, yeah. So it's got to be real close if they're going to stick to it. Okay, let's record the outro. Yeah, Steve confirms 2 years ago that was 2020. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Remember to get on over to Kickstarter, snag one of those early run 2C keyboards while you can, and then visit MacEffects.com to see all the other things he's got to offer. Next week, not sure, haven't decided yet.
Mm-hmm.
Unclear. Might dip into the time capsule, might do something else. Thanks everybody in the chat for joining us. And anything else we need to mention, guys?
Nope,
Mark,
nothing
all good? Okay, all right. Well, maybe next week we'll have an Apple event to talk about. Yeah, because I forget if there are rumored dates. Probably we're probably a couple of weeks out at least. All right. Well, until next week, remember it's not old.
It's retro.
Okay. Now we're off the clock. What?
Steve asked if we could post the link to the Kickstarter in the chat, which makes a lot of sense.
We can do that. I can do that.
All right.
Or can I do that? Somebody can do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to the MacEffects. Here we go.
There. I got it right here.
Did you get it? Okay.
Yeah, did it go up? Did somebody buy something while we're? I think the number. Maybe not. We should push it up. All right. How about let's do this for the next 5 minutes. All the keyboards are 50% off. Can we do that?
This isn't one of those infomercials. It's like operators are standing by. Use the code word. Yeah.
That's what we need to do, Mark. We need to do a 24-hour telethon.
Oh my gosh!
Guests and performances.
That'd probably be better than it actually sounds.
Be 24 hours of James with his little music noisemaker thing he's got.
Maybe I can persuade Waz to join. I recently presented him with the clear Apple IIe. So
what?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait, we didn't hear that story?
Oh my gosh.
Do we know?
Well, it just dawned on me. I just remembered. Meet people all the time.
So when did that happen?
Oh, that's a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! So tell us that story.
Yeah, well, so he, so all crazy things. I was in my place up in LaPorte, which is up northern Indiana, and all of a sudden, my brother's wife messaged me, and they work for a company, and turns out they were sponsoring an event that was hosted by the university where I teach part-time, and they said, well, Steve Wozniak's going to be there. Hey, the nerd in me, this was like, I had just got, whenever it was, I had just got all the keyboards shipped out, and I hadn't even assembled one for myself, and I'm like, hey, it'd be real cool if I just build one of these things real quick and see if I can, I got my university badge, so I'm like, even if they don't do like a meet and greet or something, I can fake my way in there,
Infiltrate.
This is a university event. I've got my badge, but anyway, he ended up doing a meet and greet at the event afterwards because she had got us tickets because I was too cheap to pay the $100 for the ticket through her work. So we went in there, and he had a great presentation to the meet and greet, and I had one of those bags from the original Apple II, the brown bag, and I said, I got something I don't think you've ever seen before. But I didn't think, all of a sudden security's.
Okay.
Sir, put the bag down and back away.
We're ready to go, and I can't imagine anybody in the world wanting to hurt Woz, but okay. So I'm opening up this bag, and he couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe what he was looking at, and then when I told him, I said I wanted to give. I'd be honored if you'd accept this,
Mm-hmm.
and he got watery-eyed. I couldn't believe it.
Man,
I was uncomfortable. He said, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen," and that really made me feel good. But at the same time, I'm an accountant, so I don't necessarily have all the world's best people skills. I'm making Woz cry a little bit, so I'm like, crap. I can take my picture and I run away, Like, yeah. And how do you in a meet and greet, where you do like signature? I didn't even bring anything for the man to sign because that's just busy.
Wow.
And afterwards, I'm like, man, I should have. He's had just some random guy show up and just, here you go. Here's this thing, And then his wife ended up reaching out to the owner of the company where my brother and his wife work, and they ended up calling, left a message or whatever. Apparently they really love it, and it's going to be in the background of his new studio in Colorado or whatever, where he does all his live.
That's great. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was felt pretty good about that,
Nice. But you did get a good picture with him, right?
Oh yeah, I made it the profile picture on Facebook,
Oh, okay.
So
you know what? I may have seen it actually. That sounds reminiscent. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's great. We got the story behind that. Wow. What an opportunity.
Yeah. It was great. It was a little awkward, but totally worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Heck yeah.
You didn't mention the 2-seat keyboard project.
No, this was like a 2-minute thing, and how could you possibly explain
right
what you did and everything in 2
but
minutes?
you did at least get across that this is an endeavor. This isn't just a one-off. I mean that you've been doing this, and that this is a
right. Yeah, I told him made a few hundred of these, and mainly for us, enthusiasts, and
right.
So speaking of Apple enthusiasts, it looks like Kansas Fest is going to be a live event again, finally this year.
Oh, thank gosh!
You've never been to one, have you?
Not in person. The last 2 times have been virtual, and that's when I kind of because mostly I'm a Mac guy at heart, and I mean I have when I was younger I had Apple IIs, and I do have no shortage of Apple IIs, but I guess I didn't really get back into it until
Well, if you want to spend a fun week, I do highly recommend trying to get out to it. It's a lot of fun. Even if you're a more Mac guy than Apple II guy, you're not going to be disappointed. I can guarantee it. Yeah,
it sounds fun, and maybe I'll pick up some new skills. I know a lot of programmers and different. That's where I lack. I don't do programming. I like it. I pretend to be an engineer, right? So.
But there's also things like you'll meet Javier is there every year. So some of these people that you've been working with that you may not have met in person, it would also probably be there. So
that could be fun. You know what I do since I got Waz's wife's phone number? Maybe I can see if we can get him to.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Out here.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's been to K-Fest, from my understanding. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally missed getting to see him at K-Fest, and it makes me sad.
All right. Well,
that was a great extra bonus content. Yes.
Yes, I will. Well, I'll weave that into the podcast somehow, so the audio listeners can hear that because they need to. Okay. Well, we should get on with our Sundays. And thanks again, everybody in the chat. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Mark. Till next time, we'll say goodbye and we'll play it out.
Thanks for listening to the Retro MacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.